like to call this meeting, May 14th, 2024, of the Atwater Township Board of Trustees to order. Roll call, please.
Charlie.
Here.
Laura.
Here.
Dale.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any objections to the Lord's Prayer? Go ahead, Martha.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. All right. During our first public comment time, we were asked by the constituents to have the sheriff come to speak. So at this one, we have Michael Hosman, Deputy Sheriff. And as always, just a reminder, we record these meetings for informational purpose for our constituents, and they are then put on our YouTube site, which then can be requested as a public record. Michael will speak up here, Deputy Hosman will speak up here at the speaker, at the microphone. He'll take your questions, he'll kind of restate them, so to make sure that, you know, we can hear them. All right, is there anything you'd like to say first, Deputy?
I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Deputy Hosman. I've been with the Portage County Sheriff's Office now for roughly 3 years. Prior to that, I was with the Summit County Sheriff's Office, so I have about 5 years total in service. I know there's been a reoccurring issue specifically in the Waterloo area of Atwater with four-wheelers and juveniles, etc. Within the last month and a half, I'd say, me personally, I've had 6 to 7 different interactions with these individuals with specifically off-road vehicles traveling on Waterloo in the neighborhood of Whittlesey and Bank Street in that area. Of those 6 to 7 interactions, 1 ran from me and 2 of them have gotten towed. The other 3 or 4 interactions were with juveniles that had gotten warnings that I made them walk the bikes home. At any given day, there are 4 to 6 of us patrolling the 400 to 500 square miles of Portage County. Specifically in the southern region of Portage County, we divide our patrol cars up into sectors. So from Talmadge Road to the county line south is a specific sector which I usually do work. At any given time in that specific area, we only have 1, maybe on a good day we'll have 2 cars. So it's very hard to rectify the situation with our numbers right now. Everywhere, every police, every law enforcement agency in the state of Ohio is in a shortage right now. So with that being said, we're doing as best as we can right now, and like I said, it's very difficult to try to get these individuals to A, stop for us, or B, try to comply with our orders. The ones that we do stop, like I said, the last 2 that I've stopped, I've taken their four-wheelers and towed them. They didn't have an option. They were given warnings the last however many years this has been an issue. And this year we've taken a zero-tolerance policy, so if we stop them and they do stop for us, we're taking their four-wheelers, dirt bikes, whatever it is. Doesn't matter if they're a juvenile, adult, whatever. The last gentleman I had stopped was an adult. I took his four-wheeler. Prior to that, there was a juvenile. I believe he was roughly 14 years old. I took his four-wheeler. His parents were well aware of our warnings, and specifically the father I was out with about a month ago, who was kind enough to take one of the kids' dirt bikes I was out with in the back of his pickup to take him home so the juvenile didn't have to walk it home. So that father in specific was very generous and understood why I was doing what I would do. The ultimate goal is for the safety of A, the kids, and B, the patrons driving in this area. We, as a deputy, do not want to make that phone call to mom or dad saying we're picking their kid up with a mop on Waterloo Road. That is the ultimate goal right now to get this rectified. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer them for you.
Yes, Phil, go ahead.
All right, I live on the corner of Prospect and Wilson Avenue, and I've seen these idiot kids, and I don't want to use the word idiot, that's my polite term, come screaming through there, but they don't stop at that stop
like one of our knocks.
One of those kids is going to get killed.
You're right.
And how many warnings do they get before, you know, you can say, hey, get off the bike, I'm taking it?
Well, like I said, so the question was how many warnings would we give them, correct? More or less, we're done with the warnings. Specifically, at the beginning of this year, we've had a conversation with our supervisor staff. Like I said, if we stop them and they do stop for us, we're taking the bikes. That's no questions asked. It's a zero tolerance policy from here on. But the problem is, A, getting them to stop, and B, trying to catch them. At the end of the day, it is not worth the risk of safety chasing a juvenile on a four-wheeler. Just about 2 weeks ago, I had one run from me, and I did chase him for a short period of time. We went up Whittlesey. He took the cut through, I forget that road right now. Weber. Took the cut through to Weber. I followed him through that cut through. We came back down onto Waterloo, and then he went and started to go through backyards behind Stroop. So at that time, I decided this is not worth it. I'm in a 7,000-pound SUV. He's in a 600-pound ATV. So at the time, I cannot chase him in regards to the safety of that juvenile and the safety of the public. I terminated that pursuit. So the answer to your question, there are no more warnings. If we stop them and they do stop, we're taking the bikes.
Deputy, when you say you take the bikes, do you take them permanently? Is there a process they have to go through where they can get them back? What is that?
So the process to get the bikes back, once we call for a tow truck, it depends. The last four-wheeler I towed, I actually was just dealing with this today, somebody had taken the VIN numbers off of that four-wheeler. The gentleman that I towed the four-wheeler from said he found it in a field. Now, you're as smart as I am. People just don't find four-wheelers in a field, right? He acquired that four-wheeler by some other means that I can't prove if he stole it or if he acquired it off of a private purchase or whatnot. So it depends on the policy of the tow company. This specific tow company called us saying, hey, what do you kind of want us to do with this? So my answer is it's going to be up to that tow company. If whoever I tow that four-wheeler from, just as if we were to tow a car, if somebody was driving under suspension, it would have to go back to the tow yard. The owner of that vehicle has to provide proof of ownership, probably current registration and valid driver's license, and pay whatever tow fees or fines or storage fees from that tow yard to retrieve that vehicle and or ATV. So it's kind of the same as a vehicle. They would have to provide that proof of ownership and then pay whatever fees is owed to the tow company. Specifically with juveniles?
Yeah.
So anybody, the question was, do people get in trouble when we stop them for four-wheelers on the road, right? So more or less, if you're caught driving a four-wheeler on the road under the age of 16 that is not registered, it's a traffic citation, which is a minor misdemeanor. It's the same if you were getting a speeding ticket. Juveniles specifically, the four-wheeler I towed from the juvenile, he was issued a ticket for what the Ohio Revised called prohibitions of an off-road vehicle on a county road. Portage County has no secondary roads. You cannot ride on any road in Portage County. Doesn't matter if it's a side road, doesn't matter if it's Waterloo, doesn't matter, it's all the same, right? So therefore, that juvenile got cited as a juvenile. Unfortunately, it's going to be up to their parents to pay that fine. Ultimately, it affects the parents, whatever juvenile we cite. The parents would have to pay that fine, and then they do have to go to court as a juvenile. It's a mandatory in-court appearance for any kind of juvenile. Adults are kind of different. The way our system works is if they had 3 or more traffic violations within the past year, it's a mandatory in-court appearance. If this is, say, your first traffic violation of a minor misdemeanor, that is, you can call the courts, pay your fine, and be done with it. You don't have to go to court. So at the end of the day, if we're towing the four-wheeler, somebody's getting a traffic citation.
So in other words, the parents themselves cannot get directly in trouble.
Yes and no. Their parents themselves are not directly getting in the trouble, but at the end of the day, it's the parents' responsibility to pay those court costs, and those are the ones primarily affected. The juvenile is not coming out of their pocket to pay their traffic citations. The parents are the ones that are going to have to take them to court each time they're cited and pay those citations. Yes, ma'am. So what exactly is the... At the very least, yes. But at the same time, I'm sure that that dirt bike was not just riding on their private property on Hillcrest. Right. So the other problem of the situation is once we get a call, these people are smart. They have scanner apps. They have everything they know to let them know we're coming. So the most recent call we've got, I actually read in our narrative, in our call notes, that says, do not put this out over the air, because they're smart. So it's very hard to get somebody in that area within a timely manner, being as far out spread as we are, and to catch that in the act. Right? They're done, they're put away, they're hiding in the garage. So that's been the case the past couple of years. Like I said, our dispatch is smart enough now to not put that out over the air, because they are smart enough now to have those scanner apps, and those scanner apps are pretty accurate, and they have no time delay. So when it gets dispatched to me and I get the information, well, so are they.
Yeah, because I live right where you went over the guardrail and back through. My house is right down the corner.
Okay.
And they're doing it constantly. I mean, even the gentleman that owns the piece of property, he actually was yelling at them. They're like, you don't care what that is.
Right. And part of the problem was they thought they can get away with it for so long just because, A, they know they can run from us, and it's sad to say, but most likely can't get away because, again, we're not chasing four-wheelers through people's backyards at the risk of everybody's safety. If we do stop them, it's coming with us. That's just the end of that.
All right. Other questions?
What are you looking for?
You're good.
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Say positive identification with dash cam footage or security cam footage and an address of where the people are doing good?
Yes, and in this day of world, people talk, and it did not take me long to figure out who ran from me that day. The problem is 100% proving that was that individual that was operating that four-wheeler that time and day. Because all I have is a glimpse of a side face of my dash cam, that suggests that this is this individual that I'm looking into. So yes and no. Our dash cams are very...
It's either yes or no. If I give you an address and a security dash cam footage, and say this is the person, this is what they're wearing, this is the four-wheeler, are you going to do anything about it? You might just piss off the neighbors and have them retaliate against you.
I don't think you would upset the neighbors because, again, you can call that in as anonymous. We don't have to tell them that you're the one that's given us this information, and we can pursue that.
Well, I got little shits doing donuts, throwing gravel at one of my investment properties, trying to break windows out by hitting baseballs at them. What am I supposed to do? You can't talk to the parents don't give a shit. You go to the parents, they get mad at you, and then all of a sudden you got kids and parents trying to fuck with you. So that's why I'm asking. If I give you positive notification and an address, you're going to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I mean, that was one of the questions I received a lot is if you physically see the kid drive into his garage, shut the door, can you do anything about it? I mean, can you question?
If I see them do that?
No, if you get a report of that, say this is the address, a resident saw them drive right in their garage, shut the door, and 5 minutes later, here you come. Is there anything?
As far as I know, we can do something about that. We would have to obviously 100% guarantee that was that individual operating at that time of day. Then there's no questions that it wasn't them. Because at the end of the day, when we go confront them, unfortunately, it's going to be, well, that wasn't me. But like you said, if you have a positive video that says, I can go to them and say, is that not you right here?
Right.
Yeah, that's me.
If a resident gets a video, you're able to use that.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And like I said, it doesn't have to be, Joe Smith telling it to me. It can be anonymous. I can receive that information, go to that individual and say, is that you? Well, yeah, that's me. Well, now we have an issue.
Even if they're a minor, because we were told the last time that that you guys could not look at any of the videos because they are a minor and
There's no expectation of privacy outside your home. Doesn't matter if you're a minor, an adult, doesn't matter. We've had this issue with custody disputes. People, come and he was videoing my kid. Well, where were you? In the parking lot of Cracker Barrel. Well, it doesn't matter. You have no expectation of privacy outside your home. Whether you're a minor, whether you're an adult, doesn't matter.
Yeah, because one of your deputies told us that. They're like, no, there's nothing we can do with this footage because they can be a minor. We don't know if they're an adult or not.
No. Unfortunately, that was some misinformation.
Yeah, we get a lot of misinformation.
And I'm trying the best I can, with the knowledge, the very, least experience I have just being there short to try to answer these questions. So, yes, ma'am.
I mean, we came in late. You probably already gone over this, but when we moved after to Atwater, we had a small four-wheeler. Our daughter has surgery.
can't answer for why that deputy made that decision that day. At the end of the day, maybe he used his discretion and just decided to let her take the four-wheeler home and kind of was giving a warning. I was explaining earlier today that we were at, right now, a zero tolerance policy. Over the last years that we have been giving out these multiple warnings. So again, I don't care if you're 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, if you're operating a four-wheeler on the road, it's going to be towed. Okay?
Well, that's what I'm asking. These four-wheelers, I mean, they've been in our yard, I mean, the dirt bikes and stuff, they've been in our yard, they've turf things. You know, of course, our daughter having the leg surgery, we appreciate the fact that you let her come home. But what we did is we were like, okay, the rule out here from where we lived before, she could have it. She couldn't have it, we sold it. Given the fact she was 14, what happens 2 years later, you get a car. You know, so that was our, you know, wasn't a big deal. So I'm not understanding the defiance.
Right.
You know, I'm really not understanding the defiance. But we appreciated, given the fact that her condition, that you allowed her just to come 4 houses down. But I'm not understanding now, why is it that these kids are just allowed to run on the roads, in people's yards, you know?
Well, at the end of the day, they're not allowed. I was explaining, you know, at any given day, we have 4 to 6 deputies patrolling the 500 square miles of Portage County. And unfortunately, I don't know if you hear what I was saying, when we get these calls, these individuals are very smart, and they know when we're coming if this is put out over the radio. So unless they, you know, somebody again has video footage and we can 100%. Right. So. Right. So they know we're coming, and they're usually home in the garage hiding when we get there. So as of now, like I said, there's going to be a zero tolerance right now. So if we see them, they do stop for us because, again, like I chased one the other week and they ran from me, I'd stop the pursuit because it wasn't worth the risk of injury or chasing somebody through a backyard with a 7,000-pound SUV. If they do stop, it's going to be towed. They're going to be cited. That individual is still looking at charges. If he would have, you know, if I would have got him that day, he would have been going to jail for felony eluding and fleeing.
Okay, now are all these motorcycles and four-wheelers supposed to have tags?
Everything that's on the road should be registered. Doesn't matter what it is.
How old?
What's that?
How old do they have to be?
You have to be 16-year-olds with a valid driver's license and with a motorcycle endorsement if you're riding a dirt bike.
Okay, because I ride it and I know my bike has to have a tag.
Right. So their four-wheelers, side-by-sides can be road legal. You just have to go through that process to make them road legal. Brakes, lights, turn signals, you know, some of the stipulations, rear view mirror. Obviously, you have to be 16. That's the big one. Right now, with this specific issue with all the juveniles, is nobody has a valid driver's license.
Well, if I remember right, when you were actually just starting to ride a motorcycle, all right, you had a 10, and you had to ride it with a helmet for a whole year.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, is that still?
As far as I know, yes. Yep, you cannot go on any highway. You can't ride at night. You can't go on any roads over, I believe it was 55 miles an hour.
Most of these bikes don't have headlights.
Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Then,
bike that light,
yeah. None of the four-wheelers are. Yeah, the issue is not whether they're road legal or not. None of the bikes I've seen on the road have been road legal. Not one question has come out, well, this is road legal. They're not. None of them are.
So do they have to carry insurance, like?
Just like as a regular motor vehicle, correct. Sir.
Real quick, just to clarify, it was a year or two, maybe 3 ago, time flies when you get old, but Portage County Sheriff's stance on it was if you're going from one place to another, you can ride on the road. There was a whole big thing about it. Now Portage County Sheriff's official stance on it is zero tolerance, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a veteran now, I find out that two-wheelers and four-wheelers, they find out now, they come down wide open. And leave the gas wide open, turn off the key, go
And-
up to
and
the brake,
coast.
turn it back on, and pop. I tell you, the veteran, late at night, that's not a very good full thing
Right.
to do.
Right.
Plus the fact the wife has a pacemaker and defibrillator, you know, it's just like,
Correct.
you know, after a while, you know, like you chasing my 12-foot ladder going, come down this way.
Right.
I might have walked out for him, I don't know.
So what we were told before is, he was right, that the deputy that told us before is, if you're riding from trail to trail, you're allowed to ride on a county road or township road. Is that not true?
That is misinformation again. That has been said in the past. I have been told that in the past, but the actual thing is you cannot ride from point A to point B on a county road or township road. Unless you're physically crossing a parking lot or even just across the street from private property where you're allowed to ride over to another property just across the street, not, you know, going up and length and down the street. That's the gray area. But as far as riding from Whittlesey up to Circle K to get your Polar Pop and some gas back down, no. And that's primarily the issue that I've seen is the juveniles ride up to the Dollar General, ride up to the Circle K, get their Polar Pops, get their snacks, and then they go home. They, most recently in the last couple of weeks, I usually sit in the little drive-thru right there. Now I've been hiding behind the church trying to listen for them so the calls don't have to come in and I can catch them right then and there. But they're smart now. Again, they know when we're there. Everybody talks. As soon as one sees us, the game's over. They think that if they hop off of their bike right there at the garage right there and walk their bikes across to the gas station, they're okay. Well, they don't understand that they get too tired to walk their bikes all the way back down Waterloo and end up hopping on them anyway to ride them back. So that's how I've gotten the last couple.
Make it kind of hard for farmers.
Right.
Because they ride it over with the new farmer. And it's gonna make it hard for them to go down the street to their house or back to another field. It's gonna make it really hard for them because they're the ones gonna get caught.
Right. And I can understand that, but at the same time, they gotta follow the same rules that we're trying to enforce with all the juveniles and everybody else.
I was driving down the road, sometimes we're afraid because it's like, we go make that turn and here they come flying through and we're gonna hit them.
Yeah, no lights, no nothing.
Right, and at the beginning of my conversation, that is exactly what I stated. This is exactly what we're trying to resolve, so we don't have to make that phone call, right? We understand they're kids that are maybe unsupervised, or maybe they get home from school, mom and dad don't get home till 5, let's ride up to the Circle K. At the end of the day, that is what we're trying to prevent, is that one phone call.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to be going out there
And find it, or you being,
I think I did.
right. That sticks with people forever.
Oh, yeah, it does. I've been in this situation.
And I've seen some of the juveniles I stop are as young as 7 or 8 years old. So, and some of that falls on parenting too. I understand that my wife and I work 12-hour shifts. We fortunate enough to have our first daughter last year, and we have to come to that decision whether we want to enroll her in school out here, because we're not going to be home to get her off the bus and or get her to school. So we may have to open enroll her back where my family lives, in Cuyahoga Falls or Stowe, just to have that supervision. I understand people may not have those options around here or whatever their case may be, but unfortunately, it's ultimately their responsibility to keep a handle of that.
All right, do we have other questions for Deputy Hausman?
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Since you brought it up, so if you are farming, I have a agriculturally exempt vehicle. If I drive it down to the gas station,
As far as I know, yes. Unless you're in a piece of farm equipment that has a slow-moving sign, that's
can you put a slow-moving,
not
you can't do it
like
if
on
it
a
goes
side-by-side or a four-wheeler, no.
So if my husband, if our fuel tanks are empty and he comes down to the gas station,
In a four-wheeler,
it's a Ranger side-by-side,
correct. It's got to be
even though it's
registered
got
for.
seatbelts and all that stuff.
So more or less, it's road legal, right?
It's just not plated because it's an agricultural.
It's very
farm.
simple to get those plated. It's very simple to get those registered, and I'm
Okay.
assuming you carry insurance on it.
We have insurance on it.
Right,
It's
so you're
not
just like
plated.
one step away from getting it inspected, making sure it's roadworthy and doing that.
Okay, so as long as we get it plated,
Absolutely. It's just
I
like a
don't-
motor,
I
it's
don't
just
want
like a
to
motor
go to the gas
vehicle at that
station.
point. So most state parks, just like golf carts, don't allow state parks don't allow golf carts because they're not registered.
Right.
So it's very easy to get a motor vehicle registered. You just has to get it inspected by, I believe, the Ohio State Highway Patrol. They'll have a form. You take it to the BMV, get your insurance, and they'll give you a plate.
Okay, because when you read all that stuff online, it's all,
Right.
you don't need them because they're farm but,
Right. I mean,
so,
obviously, if you're traveling on the roadway, you do need that registration and
Right.
or have that vehicle registered.
okay.
Sir?
And for example, that's insured, then you find.
I'm still making payments on it, I don't want it to get towed.
Correct. If you have a vehicle that's registered, you have to have insurance on that vehicle. Obviously, not just cover you, but somebody else.
All right, any other questions for the deputy? Thank you.
Thank
for
you guys
coming.
very much.
We
You guys enjoy
appreciate
your
it.
evening, okay?
Thank you. All right. All right, at this time, we'll go ahead and move forward with the business part of our meeting. So at this time, I would entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of April 23rd, 2024.
There was one thing I didn't catch, and I'm sorry, when you emailed us, can you give the resolution number to the section in zoning, about 1380? think we're in Resolution 6, 2024.
Resolution 6.
What's that?
You said 6.
I believe it's 6,
Yeah.
because 5 was the.
5 was the last one, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. That
that's
being-
it, all I had.
I'm good. So I'll make a motion to approve the April 2024 minutes with the correction of adding Resolution 6, 2024 under the zoning section.
Second?
Charlie?
Yes.
Thora?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, any communications received? No? All right, moving right along. Okay, fiscal officer report.
All right, I would like a motion to accept receipts and approve payments of all wages, invoices, bills, and other committed obligations as prepared by the FO. Warrants 38,333 through 38,349, totaling $12,448.63, and EFTs 166-2024 through 184-2024, totaling $10,791.80.
So moved?
I second it.
Charlie?
Yes.
Thora?
Yes,
Dale?
Yes.
very good. Emily, did you want to discuss about the desk?
Yeah, if you don't. I just wanted to check, I have looked, and they range from $1,000 to like $10,000.
Holy.
So I just don't even know where to begin to look because I don't know what you guys are comfortable with.
Oh. Well, it's definitely an old desk. I don't know. Charlie?
Yeah, I don't, have you, I guess, have you looked at any specific spots? I mean,
Like specific, like in the, without measuring, because I've got to like do all that, they're kind of like in the, 2 to 3.
Are you looking at an L-shaped one so that it fits in that corner or just one big desk?
That's like an L-shaped.
Yeah, that is, those two things.
Yes,
one
well,
propped
in
up
that, what
on-
I've been looking at is L-shaped, because I
All right.
don't know if you see my desk, I take up a lot of space. Or we just keep that table and get another desk that has actual functioning drawers
Yeah.
and wedge
Yeah.
them back like it
Well,
is.
just keep looking and see if we can,
find one, and then just let us know the next meeting, whatever.
yeah.
Okay, do you have like a range you want me to look in? Or just?
Well, you know what you need, number one.
Okay, just
I
take
mean,
meathements
I hate
and
to-
see.
I don't want to spend, quite honestly,
I know, well, that's what I was looking at, and I was
on
like,
a
I can't
desk.
even look at these
You
anymore.
know,
because
I know. So all we can do is just keep looking. But you need to have a functioning desk, you know.
Okay.
So, all right.
Yeah, because half those drawers don't even open.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll look maybe and get like 2 or 3 options.
Okay.
And bring them next time.
Okay, moving on to the fire department. Jay is not able to be here this evening, but he gave me the report to read. All right. Under communications, the Atwater and Randolph Fire Departments will be hosting a Viking Fire Academy again this year for ages 14 and up. The program starts June 10th through June 13th, 0800 hours to 12 noon each day.
800 hours.
That's the way he wrote it. I was reading it that way. Applications are still available at the high school and the middle school, as well as the fire departments. And of course, that can help lead right into our cadet program, that we have. Okay, under new business, we have the monthly fire report. This is for the month of April 2024. Fire incidences, there were 5 structure, 3 open burn, 1 wires down, and 3 other incidences, for a total of 28. Under EMS, there was 6 MVAs, 11 transports to UH, 1 transport to Akron General, 3 transports to Akron City, 1 to Mercy Medical Center, 1 to Altman, and 5 non-transports. Okay. Sorry, that was the total of EMS. There was a total of 5 for the fire. I read that wrong. Mutual aid was given 7 times and received 8 times for a total of 40 incidents last month. Okay. And the fuel report. The fire department used 75.3 gallons of gas and 112.1 gallons of diesel. Road department, 65.9 gallons of gas and 52 gallons of diesel. All right. Okay. Any questions about that? Fuel report. Oh, fuel consumption, did it. Purchased an EV fire blanket, which is rated for 5 fires and has a 7-year shelf life. These, of course, would be used for the electric vehicles. Replacement costs of this equipment will be billed to the insurance companies, all right, per usual. And we do have some grant money. I think we're going to use part of the OTARMA money for reimbursement for that too, weren't we?
Wasn't the Moore grant?
Or the Moore
Yes,
grant. Moore
yes,
grant, yeah.
the Moore grant.
From OTARMA, yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I've had a few individuals approach him about wanting to get the CPR instructor certified. We are looking into getting a class scheduled for this very soon and more details to follow. This will enable us to achieve the community outreach programs that we want to provide to our residences. He has also received a retirement statement from Jeff Mann, and Jay has accepted this letter effective as of April 29th, 2024. Jeff had 29 years of service with the department. We want to make sure to thank him for his dedication and service to the department as well as our community. So at this time, I move that we accept the resignation, the retirement of Jeff Mann, effective April 29th, 2024.
So moved. Oh, second, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You threw me off for a second. I was like,
No.
Charlie,
Yes.
Thora,
Yes,
What was,
Dale.
Yes.
you said, oh, the 29th.
yeah, April 29th. And Jeff had 19 years of service.
No, his letter,
April 29th, 2024 with 19 years of
she said, you said 29 years of service, but
Okay, 19 years of service.
it's been a long day.
It has. You have no idea. All right. Okay, the other thing, they will be hanging the flags throughout the community this week and doing the finishing touches on all the trucks in preparation of the Memorial Day Parade. And lastly, it's the little things that matter. Jay wanted to thank Emily for her relentless quest on getting the fax line fixed at the FD. What an ordeal. At first, they said we didn't even have a fax line, and then a fax line worked. And
I
so
think I spent about 11 hours on the phone.
she said, he went on to say, the hours she spent on phone calls, being put on hold, transferred, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was greatly appreciated, and they now have a working fax.
It works.
Yes,
We have a fax line again.
thank you. All right. Okay, moving on. Road Department.
All right. I'll start with the easy stuff first. We need a new printer for the road garage. The one out there took a cramp. So I say we just get the same one as it's in the zoning office, the new one, so we can get all the same ink cartridges. So it's $200 and some.
I think it was it even cheaper than that when
It was on sale.
Maybe we can get it
Hopefully
on
it's still
sale
on sale.
again.
So
Okay.
I will be there tomorrow, so
Oh.
I can grab it if you guys want me to.
Cool, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yard signs for the chip and seal.
Mm-hmm.
They're $10.80 a piece, and for 15 signs, and that's from Hart Sports, if you guys are okay with that.
For 15 of them?
10.80 a piece, $10.80 a piece.
We have to have 15? Can't we have one at the beginning and the end of each?
No, but this year we're gonna do 3 roads, and then there's, we can do 10.
I mean, are they reusable?
Oh, yeah, they're just yard signs.
Okay, so if we put one, the one at Everly, or I mean at that Lawbert?
The one
There's
at-
2, one
yeah.
at each end?
Yeah,
And Bank Street, one at each end?
and I was gonna put at least one in the middle, it's coming off of one of the side roads, but,
Oh, I see one.
and then German Church. There's 3 sections of German Church.
And how long are we gonna leave them up?
Just put them out the week before, and then as soon as they start taking down.
Oh, okay.
They're just gonna say road resurfacing happening next week.
Okay. Because that one in the middle, they're eventually gonna see it when they go on either end of that. I just didn't know if we needed 15.
Unless
Do
they
we
come off
need
Atwater Avenue. No, we can do 10, 5.
However many roads we do at one time times two, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do we need more than that? I mean,
Might be a minimum of what they'll do, though.
yeah, it
The
could be.
price might go up if you do less. I don't know.
Okay.
I just told him 15.
Well,
We can go down to 10.
all right, we'll go to 10.
Man, you drive a hard bargain.
I don't
10
know why we need
signs.
10. No,
Dang.
I was going to 10.
Charlie, maybe ask him how hard it is to replace one or two as we go, if they get stolen or something. If he could just make us one or two, like,
Okay.
if that's
Yeah,
like a,
that's another valid point. If
yeah,
they-
like see how hard it is
Electric
just to replace if they, you know.
Okay.
All right.
All right. The next, the big thing is the OPWC grant from the county engineers.
Yeah,
They called me last week. They said, well, you know, the size of this job is going to require some engineered plans, and that's going to be $7,000-ish out of your pocket before you start. And
is
it's
this Hillcrest we're talking about?
for a maybe get the grant. So I told them absolutely not. Let's figure something else out. So, with that being said, we're going to apply for, as long as you guys are okay with it, for an 1.5 inch mill and fill. So that's grind the road, put blacktop back on the road, because the blacktop that's out there is kind of a little too far gone to chip and seal, in my opinion. But you could do it, and it'd probably look all right, but I don't know how long it'd hold up for, just because that was blacktop over mud. So.
Now, so if we do that, is that gonna correct the drainage problem? It's not gonna correct it, right?
That's my next thing on my list.
Okay.
Easy.
Jump the gun.
So this
Well, I knew
is,
that was the problem.
so this is an 1.5 inch mill and fill in one pass. So the paver, instead of running two up and down each side of the road, it's going to do one pass down the whole road. And we're going to include crack seal along the gutter, crack seal around all manholes, monument boxes. And then he was going to work on an estimate, but I had to get with Emily to figure out our budget for next year, to know our contribution, so it'd be a 50-50 grant. So we would put 50% down, they'd give us 50%. And that's how that road got paved last time,
Okay.
so.
And this would be for next year? You're-
Yes, this is for 2025, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as long as everybody's okay with it, they're gonna give us a resolution to pass for next meeting, because the deadline's at the end of the month.
All right. And when you're saying they, you still mean the county engineer, correct? Okay.
So the pavement, they can do in-house, they don't have to go outside engineered plans for it.
And if the, not that it, I mean, it has to be done, but if the price is prohibited, you know, we don't, if we feel budget-wise we can't do it in 2025, we don't have to do it, right? There's not, once we pass this resolution, are
No,
we,
once you pass the resolution and they grant us the grant,
then we have to
we
do
have to,
it?
yes.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, it needs done. Like the road needs.
Oh, I don't
the
disagree,
road
yeah.
needs resurfaced, so. And we talked about different options of just grinding half the road to put more of a crown on the road and different options. But at the end of the day, just keep it simple. This is exactly what was done 8, 9 years ago, and it held up for the poor drainage that was out there. So the next on my list is us do the drainage work ourselves. So it's a mile of road. We're gonna need a mile worth of pipe times 2. It's gonna be a 4-inch perforated pipe, double wall, and a 6-inch PVC. The 6-inch is gonna catch all the downspouts and sump pumps coming from all the houses, because now they just drain out the road. The 4-inch is gonna be an under drain, so it's gonna drain everything on the subgrade under the road. So this is just gonna be just like field tile. It's 4-inch with holes all the way around it.
Right.
If the guys feel comfortable doing it, it wouldn't be start to finish. It would be, here's 2 weeks, go work on it, get to a good stopping point style. When you get that other time in the year to go work on it, go work on it. So we don't have to buy all the material at once. We can buy half or a quarter of it at a time, depending on price. I still need to call Marble to get prices, so.
Would it behoove us to do that before we do the
Well,
chip
that, we
seal
would,
and all that?
we would start on it this year, probably.
Right, because that's the big problem there.
Right,
is the
and
drainage.
this probably wouldn't get paved until fall and summer of next year.
All right.
So there's still a lot of time to get it done. And if it doesn't get done right away, a little bit of time between the time we get it paved and the time the drainage work is finished, I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. But that's something to just think about. I still need to get prices on material and fittings and all this. The material list for the pipe per se is gonna be pretty spot on. The fittings for all the connections for the downspouts and all that, that might be a little vague, just because you don't know how many you're gonna need, right, you know, per house, depending on what comes out there. So when that allotment was built, it wasn't built very for the future, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So. And then, the hanging baskets, they're gonna be delivered next week. So, everybody's favorite.
When are the Memorial Day, the flags going up?
I'll ask Chris Hart, I don't know. Oh, the
No,
flags,
no,
I think we have
the
out there.
flags that we, that the township guys have.
I don't know, I'll ask.
Okay. Hanging baskets are next week? So
Yeah,
they'll be before the parade?
21st, yeah.
Yeah, all right, good.
I'll get the, water schedule typed up, I'll email it to you guys. So, last year we just did it one day of the weekend, depending on the rain. If it rained on Saturday, do it Sunday. If it was gonna rain on Sunday, do it Saturday. But just do it once, and then, so.
They
Takes
better
about,
be better this
Huh?
year. I'm hoping they're better
Oh, I do too.
baskets this year, or else we're.
it takes
last
about,
year's-
half hour, 40 minutes to water them all, not long.
All right,
And then that's all I have for road.
okay. That takes us to the zoning report, please.
Zoning report for May 14th, 2024. Had 2 complaints. First complaint was for a building being built without a permit. After inspecting the building in question, it was a temporary building to house chickens and goats. Second complaint was for a supposedly junk vehicle on Hillcrest. When I did a drive-by and the vehicle in question, I noticed it has an up-to-date plate, so it's not a junk vehicle. Permits, issued 1 demolition permit and gave out 1 application for a building permit. Communications have had a bunch of emails and phone calls about lots for sale in the township, asking what are the requirements and zoning regulations. Had calls about zoning regulations on fences and setbacks. Had numerous calls about easements on their property, I referred them to the Portage County Recorder's Office. A couple emails and calls about building permits if they needed one. Meetings on May 8th, 2024. I attended the regional planning meeting. Atwater was not talked about. That's it.
Any questions from the board? All right.
2 things. I gave you guys a copy of the new zoning permit. It's all right except where it says zoning inspector and signature. That's the new approval stamp we're going to get. That's going to go at the bottom instead of the zoning inspector signature line. So that was, need to
So
take
we'll
that.
just stamp there?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I got a price for triplicates for these to replace the ones we have. And those are $60 for 100. And then I'm going to get these and the demolition permits. I was thinking only getting 50 demolition permits. That'd probably be all right to start with.
There's only been 2 this year.
Yeah, so 50 demolition permits and 100 of regular building permits.
Because this can be used for everything now.
Yes, everything.
So-
So this really,
Yeah,
you know,
except for demolition.
simplifies things, yes.
All right.
So, and then I also gave you a copy of the email from Dan from Land Bank. So
that takes us to Park, Cemetery, Town Hall, and Real Estate.
Okay, I got a letter yesterday from that program that they do lunches
Yeah,
at the park.
yeah.
They want to do it from, I just wrote it down.
It's usually like the first week of June.
June 3rd to August 16th, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 1. They want to feed kids from 1 to 18. I guess it's a program that they've done in the past.
They did it last year, yeah.
Yeah.
It worked out really well.
Yeah, so that's a program that they do.
Who was the last thing on that, August?
I want to say August 16th or something. I wrote it somewhere, I'll find it. June 3rd through August 16th, 12 to 1. So Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Kids from 1 to 18, they want to feed them. So that, I got that. And what was the other thing? Oh, last meeting, I received a paper and I now have some acoustical people in Ohio. So I've talked to 2 of them, and I'm trying to set up a day that I'm off to meet them, so they can come and look at the place. One's in Brooklyn Heights, and one is in Bedford Heights. So at least we got them in Ohio now. So,
Yeah, no kidding.
so we're working that way. Okay, and the last thing I have is the final, or another quote for the front of the building. So the last meeting we had, the Extreme, this one is, they want to take the bottom part of the pillars all off, replace all 6 pillars, the bottoms, install an aluminum drip cap. They're going to pull the bottom piece of soffit, or not soffit, siding off, bend some flashing so the water doesn't run down in. They're going to install all new trim. If any of the posts, once they pull the bottoms off, are bad, then they're going to have to replace them. And they gave us a price for all of that. But to rebuild all the pillars, cap the top, put new railings, spindles, everything is going to be wood, so we'll have to paint it like it is. The bill is $3,743.
And that's us painting it or them painting it?
He didn't say anything about painting it, so I'm assuming that's us painting it, because the $3,743. And then if any of the pillars, once he pulls the bottom part off, if they're bad, it's $335 to replace the whole pillar from the ceiling down. But there only looks like there's possibly one that could be, and I don't think it needs to be, so. So that's a lot different from the quote that we had.
15,000, what was
It
the
was
other one?
14,900.
I would say, see what, have them add to the quote painting.
All right, I
Get
will
it,
tell
get
him
it,
that.
get it painted, but, I mean, this is great, yeah, I'd say,
Because the
Have
other
we
guy
done
wanted to
any
do
due
all
diligence?
composite, so we'd never
Okay.
touch it again, so that's why it was so much. This guy is just replacing
Yeah.
it in wood.
Have we done any due diligence on this construction company?
I've dealt with him many times.
Okay.
He's just up the road.
Okay.
Everybody, he's got good ratings and stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it local, so that's why I got the 2 guys.
Good. All right, good.
Atwater, Unger Road, and this
Yeah.
guy's out this way.
I know,
It's Finney Construction. Finney, Finney.
yeah. I know I'd heard of it before, but I
He's
just
on
wanted to make sure.
State Route 14, Britztown mailing address. But he's got an Atwater number and everything.
I would say I would be about proving this if it just had painting on it.
All right, I will call him tomorrow and ask him if that's including the painting or what it would cost for the painting.
Yeah.
But that's a lot.
No, it's
Better than-
in all reality, lumber's expensive, and this is very
It
reasonable.
is, and he's gonna replace anything that's rotted and get rid of the water so it's not seeping under the siding
Right.
back in, so.
Did he give us any kind of time frame of when he could start this?
No, because
If we would approve it conditionally, that, I mean, I don't know.
I doubt
Up
if we'd have
to?
it done before the parade or anything.
Oh, no, I know,
Yeah, so-
yeah. I just wondered, depending on how busy he was, that we wouldn't
He
have
kinda
to be
sound
so
like
far
he could
down
get
on
to
the
it fairly
list.
quick, but I'll give him a call tomorrow and find out. But
I don't know, what do you think, could we approve it conditionally, like up to 5,000 at this time? You think the painting would be?
I wouldn't think painting would, there's
Yeah,
not a
that's
lot
what I
to
meant,
paint.
it should be, if it's under that.
Phil's gonna paint it right there, he volunteered.
Bill volunteers to paint it, you said?
Didn't hear that.
All right.
Or we can just wait till the next meeting.
Let's just wait so we don't.
Okay.
Find
have
out the
it-
painting and
yeah.
stuff.
All right.
Because it's not gonna get done before the parade, so.
All right, yeah, we'll table that then until the next meeting.
All right, well, that's all I had was those three things, so.
All right, thanks, Dale. Okay, under administration then.
At this time, I would like to make a motion to go into executive session under Ohio Revised Code 121.22 for the purpose of conference with an attorney for a public body concerning the disputes involving the public body and that are subject to pending or imminent court action.
All right, second?
Charlie?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
All right, I make a motion to move back into regular session.
Second? Yes.
Thora?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
All right. At this time, I guess, let's, Mr. Martin there? Kerr, sorry. If you mind coming up to the podium and
And Mr. Kerr, go ahead and state your full name and just let us know what you're here for. then,
My
please.
name's Martin Kerr. I'm an attorney that represents New Generation Homes Incorporated, and my client, that company is run by my client, Mohammed Munim, and they own the property, purchased the property at 1517 Whittlesea. I'm sure everyone in this area is aware of what that property used to look like. So I'm basically here today. A while ago, the trustees passed a resolution related to the demolition of certain structures on the property. Now, I don't want to get into the finite legal minutia, and there are arguments on all sides, but one of the things I wanted to introduce the trustees to and ask them to reconsider this is that my client purchased this property through a foreclosure. Actually, it was foreclosed on by a bank, and then my client purchased it from the bank. Because the bank did not do its due diligence, and well, we started with 2020. Not going to rehash that, but that stopped everything in getting people out of properties. Then it took us almost 2 years to get this person out of the property because the bank hadn't properly followed federal law related to federally backed mortgages. We went to court in Kent several times. We finally got this done. We tried to work with this man simply because we didn't want to just kick him out and let him have nothing left. Unfortunately, he was a difficult person, as some of you may know, and we eventually ended up bringing the sheriff out and removing him from the home. Now, the reason I would ask you to reconsider on this matter is that my client has already heavily invested in this community. My client owns several investment properties in Akron, and those present their own challenges. We won't go into that, but you guys live close enough to Alliance, you can understand. And he was seeking to move out to areas where he could have better renters, better people to sell to, and really invest in a community. Now, since we have acquired the property, when we moved out of the property, we've invested heavily amounts of money in removing 12 vehicles, 14 partial vehicles, which are major environmental hazards, as well as 12 60 cubic foot dumpsters full of material. My client has engaged a contractor to start working with the building department in order to rehab the property properly and make this community a better place. Which, quite frankly, I was telling Emily during the break that this reminds me a lot of Lodi, which is where I'm from and I currently live. And I don't know how you guys have kept it together being this close to Alliance, but good on you. So that being said, I would really ask the trustees to reconsider this. I don't want to go into the procedural minutia unless you want to. Then we can discuss that. But honestly, I'd rather save these people's times and really just appeal to the better sense, because at the end of the day, this is a conservative community, no different than Lodi. Private money is always better than public money. And if my client had left that property in the state that it was in or had not purchased the property, that property would still have 12 vehicles, 14 partial vehicles, and 12 60 cubic foot dumpsters of absolute garbage. And 1,200 tires, I'm sorry, major environmental hazard. So he has, in this case, invested tens of thousands of dollars into cleaning up your community because he's invested in this community. He's from California. He flew out here for this meeting because that's how important this is to him.
Any questions for Mr. Kerr?
what has been done inside the home that's this money's been invested in?
At this point, obviously, and you're zoning inspector, you're a contractor, aren't you? Were you at one point? Dude, you look like one. Anybody that's hired contractors in this day and age, for instance, you were talking about the front of the building. It's very difficult to find qualified and quality contractors that can start work at a good time. Obviously, this was delayed a little bit on the inside while we found those people. And a plan has been put together, and I believe the timeline is 6 months to have the property completed. Give or take, depending on weather, acts of God, material, etc.
Right. So I guess my question was what has been done on the inside of the home, like as far as renovations?
At this point, Mr. Munim? Basic cleanup at this point, because they were assessing structural damage as well as what needed to be done. So with this being a private investor company, Mr. Munim is not the only investor. This is a corporation. So you have to raise capital for certain projects, which means you need to present a plan. So he's been working with a contractor. Mr. Frencher, can you please stand? He's been working with a contractor to do the work and basically put together a plan to present to the building department and his investors so that we can have the capital and move forward. Yes, it has not, and
It's rained, it snowed, and everything else.
mm-hmm,
That thing's got to be full of black mold by now.
mm-hmm. And all of
What are you going to do? You strip out the whole inside of the house and start all over again?
there is a process for remediation with things like that. Yes. Sorry.
Do you mind if I talk to if you bring the contractor up? I'd like to
Absolutely.
ask him a couple questions.
Sean.
How you doing?
Can you state your name, please?
Sean Fancher.
All right.
Sean,
Fancher.
could you spell it?
that.
Yeah, Fancher.
Okay.
All right, sir. When was the last time you were inside the property, inside the home?
Oh, it's been months since I personally been inside. I'm going off of pictures and measurements right now.
Have you sent any of your crews down there recently?
Yeah, there's been plenty of people.
Okay. And
we were
what
just over there the last week cleaning up like the outside.
we as in your crew was?
Right.
Okay. So what did they tell you from the inside of the home? What was it like?
It's in bad shape. Everybody knows it's in bad shape. That's why we're here. We want to fix it, but we
So
gotta get it in your good graces.
So when they say structural damage, what kind of structural damage is inside? What's the structural damage?
I guess I don't necessarily want to give you an
Are we
answer.
talking about the roof, the foundation?
Yeah, none of it's in good shape. It all needs repair. But that's why we're trying to present a plan and get approval. But again, there's no question it needs repair. That's never been the question.
Sure. Okay. And
Was any permits ever pulled on that work that you guys did so far? You guys ever pull a permit?
I don't believe so, but we're registered with the county now.
I think you guys just over here and you had no one over there could speak English except the first guy that I talked to.
Sean, do you think that 6 months is a reasonable time to get this all up to code?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So one of my questions so it's going to take 6 months of a contractor working on this home.
Correct. Several crews.
6 months once the contractor has a plan.
Once they have a plan, correct?
6 months from 6 months from now, they believe it can be finished. That was the statement.
So here's what I'm going to say. So you're going to have multiple crews for 6 months, time and material.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be cheaper than bringing a new trailer into that property? For 6 months?
6 months activity, they don't need to work. What it is, if you go for a permit, you pull a permit, you do a certain amount, you wait for the inspection, that's what's gonna take 6 months. 6 months is not gonna be the everyday crew salaries and materials.
Mohammed, do you mind coming up to the podium? Mind stating your name?
Mohammed Munim.
Mohammed, here's where I stand right now. You guys are asking for, I don't know, forgiveness if you want to call it that, but we've asked you to come to multiple meetings and you never showed. And now you want...
No, I did came, sir.
You came to one.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we've asked you to come to
And-
multiple.
no,
And
no,
if our other trustee, Thor Green, said specifically, if you cannot attend, send somebody in your place. And your attorney just said this is a corporation, there's multiple investors involved. I don't understand why you couldn't send one of your other investors in your shoes. in
So
your
the
place.
investor,
Investors typically cannot represent a company, they're simply shareholders.
Okay.
But a big corporation would certainly have some other people that could come and speak.
This is not a big corporation.
A corporation, okay.
So you, Mohammed, I guess you're the owner of this New Generation Homes?
I have other investors with the part of it, yes.
So you're an investor too?
I'm an investor and manager, yes.
Okay, so I guess if you're the investor as well, why can't another investor come in your place? And that's what I'm getting at is we've had multiple times where we've asked you to come, give us an update, what's going on, secure the outside, clean up the front yard. Nothing's happened. Yeah, you have done a lot there. You've pulled out scrap vehicles that you could have got paid for from scrap yards. You pulled out 1,200 tires. You pulled out 40-yard dumpsters of trash. I get all that. That is awesome. But we asked for communication and a plan, and we never got that. And then when we had to go through the building department to put a stop work order on it, we're the bad guy because we don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, what it is, once I was here, I told you guys that, I'll secure the property within a month. I did that. We cleaned the outside.
You're supposed to secure it and clean it up. Instead, I've been looking at that piece of crap over here for the last 6 months.
But outside has been cleaned out, and except minor stuff.
Yeah.
But the 40-yard bin was cleaned out about 6 months ago. The 40 dumpster was picked up at.
I'm sorry, was it a better view with the cars?
Pardon me?
Was it a better view with the cars?
You know, I take a man at his word usually. This man has done nothing but lie through his freaking teeth ever since he's come up here. So I don't trust him for the damn. Not from what he's told us and what he's told the trustees. He has not lived up to his word. How the hell am I supposed to trust him?
I have secured the property. You calling me liar? I don't respect you. You're a senior man.
Hold on, Larry.
You're a senior man. I don't accept that at all. I said I'll secure it up here, and I did secure it within the 2 weeks that I told you. I took 4 weeks, but at the 2 weeks, I did secure the property. So I don't know why is it calling liar. I don't accept that at all. You're a senior man, like my father. I respect that. But you calling me liar, that's really offensive to me. I can call you liar, but I don't want to do that. But I'm not here to argue, but,
Char-
But you've seen for 12 years, sir, 20 years. We're trying to improve it, right?
I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about the previous owner.
But what I'm...
We took you at your word. You did not keep your word.
What it is, I had a contractor hired for the roofing. He's supposed to pull the permit and did. He took the money, did half a ripped the roof and ran away. So that's got me in trouble,
So, to my knowledge, then, the property is not secured if it
It
has
is-
no roof on it.
It has a tarp on it,
It is a turf. Yeah.
which is obviously not secured.
Yeah.
So, Mohammed, here's my question: so you say this is going to take 6 months on and off working,
Right.
multiple crews, as your attorney said.
Yes, of course, there's going to be a roofer who's going to do the roofer job, interior.
Okay, so multiple different contractors,
Right.
plumbers, electricians. That's
Right,
fine.
right.
So you mean to tell me that all this time and money into that structure is going to be cheaper than putting a new trailer on there?
It's still worth it. We believe it's still worth it.
There's a lot of work that needs done.
It's pretty rough looking. I mean, it's...
Yes, I've seen it inside.
So if the grant that we were going after for removal of that structure, you would still own the property. We are not taking the property. We just want the unsafe and unsecure building removed. So hold on, just let me hear me out. So if you let us remove that building, the property's still yours. And per our zoning code, you have 2 years to put a brand new trailer on that property.
No trailer.
Manufactured home, sorry. So you have 2 years to do that. So that would be a lot more appealing and eye-catching to somebody in the community than a 19 whatever trailer fixed up. I mean, if you're so about the community, I think you would be money ahead. And if there is something, new cabinets, new whatever in that home, I'm pretty sure the board would be willing to let you take anything new in that home out of that home.
I really would like to proceed in completing it. There's a lot to it. Lots means to me.
I can't imagine that trailer, even rehabbed, would be worth what would have to be spent on it. How old is the trailer? How old? 50 years old. I can't imagine the plumbing, everything.
So it sat all winter
worth
long,
it.
just like, sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, that's okay. No, go ahead.
It sat all winter long without a roof on it.
Yeah, it has a tarp on it. Yes.
Just recently has a tarp on it. That tarp just showed up 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Something like that, yeah.
No, there was one before.
Then it
There
was
was.
gone.
Okay, if you think that, that's fine, but there wasn't.
Right.
There was not a tarp there. It just showed up. I drive by the property probably twice a week. I know. So all that moisture, rain, snow, whatever was inside that home. There is no way that you can tell me that the inside of that home is remotely salvageable.
Yeah, but I'm going to go through the city inspection and with the work. So whatever works it needs, we'll do.
I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is you would be moneyed ahead to just let us continue with the demolition, and you're going to have a bare lot, fresh slate, and then you can put a manufactured home in there. Same thing. And you'd have a brand new home
I understand,
to rent out to a
but
community
that's not
member.
our goal. Our goal is to complete it with the investors,
So
Why? Why is that your goal, to try to rehab this 50-year-old?
Because we're already in it a lot. We're a lot
you're
in it.
into the property a lot, not the home.
Yes.
From what you've told us, you're into the property,
Property.
which is great. That needed cleaned up. Absolutely, I agree. But you just said you were not into the home itself. You were in just cleaning up the home.
That was going to have to happen no matter
You're
what.
not, yeah, exactly. There's nothing new inside the home. No new floors, no new cabinets, no new nothing. So there's nothing new in the home. Yes.
I just know that, I believe from our understanding, and we can check on this, if you guys did get the grant for the removal, and correct me if I'm wrong, neither the township nor the land bank seeks to recover that money either.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, so we won't have
It's
to.
grant money.
It's a grant money.
So you would have a clean slate there, all right, to proceed with what would ultimately be a...
How much is the grant money? I'm just curious.
It would be for the total demolition of the
Yeah,
building.
for the cost of the demolition.
Given that Mr. Munim has invested a significant amount of money in removing that, is the township willing to help him with removing the environmental hazard that's existed there for 10, 20 years?
The environmental
No, he
hazard.
bought that property that way. So unfortunately.
The environmental hazard as in what?
As in 1,200 tires.
Didn't you say they were removed?
They have been removed.
Oh, so
At
you're asking us to
significant
reimburse
cost.
him
I'd say
that.
not reimburse, but offset in some way or help him in some way. I mean, that's a significant cost, and really, that's something that should have been brought to the attention by, years ago. It didn't even have to go through the zoning board here. That could have gone straight to the Ohio EPA.
And that's been brought up before by Mohammed, is why didn't this get handled before? There's 2 trustees on this board that have been here for 3 years.
Okay.
We have not been here for years before.
Okay.
So this is something that's new to us. This issue is brought up in the past couple of years. As far as reimbursement of any kind of funds, no, I would not vote for that, no.
You bought that property in the condition that it was in. Now, if there's any long-term effects, my understanding of EPA rules, that's your problem. If you didn't check it out, again, the township is offering to take that thing down, clean up the lot. You got 2 years, do it as you need fit, as long as it conforms to zoning.
demolition?
Demolition.
Not the demolition, but on the
There's a basement built out to this house, you know, so it's, you know, when it,
If I
just to build a
if I could
basement,
say-
it's,
If I could say one thing, $60,000 to $70,000 for a manufactured home was true about 10 years ago, but unfortunately, in Joe Biden's America, it is far more expensive.
They're spending the same amount on lumber and manpower. There's really no, you know, there's really no cost difference. You got brand new.
I sell building materials. There's a reason I can make this cost effective. I'm a general contractor, and I also own a store that sells the materials. There's nobody that can do it cheaper than me.
And you still got a 50-year-old trailer.
Yeah.
But right now, it's two by
I was there when that trailer went in.
All right. Hold on.
All right, let's come back here to the board, please.
All right, anything else from anybody else?
Dale,
Dale?
questions?
I just don't think it's feasible, but
I know,
I
because it is still a
It's-
very dilapidated 50-year-old.
How about this as a
So,
proposal? Can I make a
one more thing. You said there's a basement under that house, correct? So in the removal of the trailer, mobile home, whatever you want to call it, the basement goes. It's filled in flat. No more basement, if you're worried about the basement.
I'm sorry? one more?
So you said there's a basement there, correct?
There is.
Part of the demolition would be all the basement walls, and it'd be graded out.
Yeah, so we'll lose the basement. When you buy a manufactured home, you still have to build out the basement if you want it.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, if you're not gonna have it, that's not gonna go to the 60,000 of the, just building out the basement, it's a lot of money.
Charlie, we do require a basement.
On a manufactured home?
No,
Oh,
I don't, no, not a
No, but they have to
manufactured
have
home.
yeah, they have to have a crawl space of some sort.
Yeah.
Could I make a
Yes.
proposal? Could I make a proposal that we table demolition for, say, 1 month upon approval of plans by the building department? You lose a month out of how many years?
Well, I am gonna say, let's wait till the next meeting for all of us to think about this.
Okay.
This is a big decision. There is obviously multiple residents that are not happy.
Understood.
We all represent them. I don't want to make a decision that's in the moment and think about it later, and it's the wrong decision to make.
I understand.
So, I say that we table this until the next meeting.
When you were saying about those plans, excuse me, when you were saying about those plans, you mean coming from your contractor of what he's going to do? Is that what you
Correct.
mean when
The
you said
submissions
building?
To the building, to the building department, yes.
So he doesn't have his plans yet?
they'd have to approve them.
They have to be approved by the
Yeah.
building department.
Okay,
yes.
so
And
he
us.
doesn't have,
And you, yes.
And the board.
yes, so he doesn't have that plan yet, is that correct?
That's fine, Sean.
I thought,
Mohammed had our plan, but the way we presented to the city is like a different form. So we have a plan, but not formally. We can get it to you later.
you don't have a formal plan yet, is that what you're saying? All
It's
right.
not the way
Right.
it would be given to us.
So that's May 28th. At that point. At that point, too, will you seriously consider the demolition of this through grant monies, okay, that then Mohammed would be able to start with a clean slate there?
I'll discuss it with my client and I can confirm with Brett.
It's like we've said, it's still your property, your investor's property,
Right.
whoever's. Remains your property. And it would save you a lot of time and money. Honestly, I mean, there's no way that you can have your contractor in there rehab an entire home, because let's be honest, so there's no roof on it. You're gonna have to go down to bare studs. And if the bare,
As necessary, we'll do.
if
Anything
the
that's
bear-
necessary, we'll do.
and if the stud, exactly, if the studs
If
are.
starter rotted, they're replaceable, I guess.
You might as well start with a new home then.
what we're saying, Mohammed. We're not trying to be mean here. We're just trying to make you understand, like,
What it is, that's something that says you guys pre-made the decision because you guys sent me a letter, give me 20 days to respond whether we wanted to rehab or take it down. I sent you a letter within that 20 days. You guys did not care. You guys made the decision and sent it up.
we received it past the 20 days.
It's a certified mail. I cannot, I have a copy. It was 18th day. It's not 20 days. I have a copy of this, and it was certified.
On the 18th day, it was sent certified mail. The time of acceptance is not upon receipt necessarily.
But still, even with the date of that letter, I sent it within 18 days certified, not regular mail, and I received a response that you guys made a decision that it just got to be demoed without my considering my decision or inputs.
But we
so
hadn't
decision
heard
is
from
like-
you
But we haven't
prior
heard
to
from
that. In months, we had not heard from you.
I don't even know that we can make legal arguments right now.
Right.
You guys had that meeting back, what, October, November?
Yeah.
As I was sitting out there, I mean,
We'll worry about those legalities later.
So I think we're good with tabling it and discussing it. I can confer with Mohammed, and if you'd like me to, I can come to the next meeting, and we can have a discussion. Is that fair?
Yeah, yep, we're gonna table it to the next meeting, so. Thanks.
And the stop work order stays in place.
Yes, the stop work order is in place.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
Hold on,
Just, you know what, we're going to get to the second comment time. Just let us finish the other part of the business.
we just have a few things left here.
Please. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, first thing, under administration, I make a motion to declare the old FD/zoning printer, the Dell 2375 DNF, and it is DNF. It really is, it says it on that, and it is, that was brought up to be used in the zoning office as of no value to the township.
Second.
Charlie?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dale?
yes.
All right. Anything else under administration?
CARES money, yes.
All right.
We have a large chunk of CARES money. It was like the
Why does that sound
The
familiar?
COVID,
Money.
like the COVID money. This is called CARES money now.
It's CARES
the
money.
latest money that we have.
But not not
ARPA,
not the
whatever.
ARPA money.
But it's all the same thing, yes.
So,
Oh, it's the same fund?
Yeah, the ARPA, right?
No, this
The
is,
101,000?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
we have to have just putting this out, it has to be
Allocated.
deemed for something by the end of the year or we lose it.
right.
Yeah.
So, I just
Gotcha.
don't want us to forget because it's already,
No. I got something in the works. I'm gonna present it probably next meeting, so.
okay.
There goes the front of my building.
Oh,
There goes every other
Pipe down.
project for the rest of the year.
this is a
So-
good project, all right?
Well, we also have a building project on the town hall to do. We have possible acoustics to do. As some idea, there is a sign that we could do. So, just everyone will have ideas.
Yes, I just don't want us to forget about it because if not,
Yeah, we just have to allocate.
Yeah.
it.
We're allocated by the end of the year, right?
Yeah, say what we're gonna use it for. Okay. All right, any other things under administration? Okay, under announcements. There's a parade coming up, guys. All right, May 27th, just to refresh everyone's memory, it starts at noon, okay? We want to see all of you lining Waterloo Road. Entries are still being taken, right up even to parade time. The only thing that needs to happen is if you want to register to be in the judging for prizes, we just need you to do that ahead of time by calling Peggy, 330, help me? Yes, it's on the board out there. Okay. All right, any other announcements? Okay.
Don't we have a special meeting next Tuesday? Do we need to announce that?
No, we already put that in the paper, just
Okay.
as a reminder on records retention meeting next Tuesday. Thank you, though.
All are welcome to come and help.
Yeah, play in the. Okay, we are now at the follow-up public comment time. I will ask people to go to the podium. Phil?
I was gonna say, make sure you don't rush up there, but I don't worry about that with you.
Charlie, stick it. And it may not be politically correct, but too bad.
Neither am I, it's fine.
Just a quick reminder, approximately 3 years ago, the trustees passed a ruling for the zoning committee to where they could spend at least $100, I believe the amount was, without getting board approval. I did turn a bill into Emily last month, and I guess she's waiting for a
Do you know when, like you said 3 years ago, so that's
Approximately.
before me and Thora.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil, can I just say, I would appreciate next time when you're asking me about it, to just ask me about it.
Well, they don't know about
I
it.
don't know either, though.
Well,
So, no,
Mike?
what I'm just, Phil, can I politely just ask that instead of storming out of my office, I wasn't here 3 years ago, you could have just told me that 3 years ago that was passed. I'm just asking for a little bit of respect on that end.
Well, let's put it this way. The trustees need to know about it also. Am I not correct?
No, you are correct.
I just,
That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying like 2021?
Approximately. Mike?
I don't remember when they passed that. It was the prior board. They made a resolution that the zoning chairman, if needed to spend for paper, whatever products, up to a set amount to be done without prior approval. Similar to what you did with the fire department.
right.
We'll look back in the minutes and try to find that.
That's fine.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, just next time,
We'll
just
find it.
ask me and I'll
We'll
find it, and,
I said, we'll find where it is.
yeah.
All right, okay, anyone else? All right, Larry.
Larry Feigley, all right?
No kidding.
No kidding, yeah. I don't know what the trustees, what you guys are considering here concerning Muhammad and his property down there, but it has been a blight on this community for years. And I don't give a darn if he did just buy the place. Since he's bought the place, he's hauled some trash out of there. But now, he was supposed to be at the meetings here last December, never showed up, never sent word, was supposed to have the place secured and cleaned up by December. It never was. Piles of trash sat out there all winter long. He just pulled a dumpster in there last week and finally had his crew come up in there and fill the dumpster up. Well, now, today, he had two little Mexican girls, because I went over to talk to them, out there weed eating and mowing the place. So where the hell's he been for the last 6 months? He has done nothing. Yeah, well, now he wants us to acquiesce to whatever the hell he wants to do, but he hasn't done anything as far as trying to satisfy our needs, and it's been a blight on the whole damn neighborhood.
I agree, Larry. I totally agree with you.
Now, he says, well, hey, I'll come up with a plan. Well, doggone it. You should have had that plan last December. And who's to say? He says, well, I can get her done in 6 months. And what if he doesn't?
So that's one thing I'm going to have Brett let his attorney know is once they get plans.
If we go.
Once they get plans, send them to us right away. Once they get plans drawn up, whatever these plans are, so we can look at them, so we can honestly have a good vision of what they want. And there is no doubt in my mind that rehabbing that home is going to be cheaper than tearing the damn thing down.
Well, and even what the gentleman said, the contractor, I asked him if he had plans. He gentleman stated he did have plans, but then all of a sudden he really doesn't have plans.
Right.
He doesn't have plans that are the right kind of plans.
Right, they're talking out of both
They're
sides.
still
They're
on that.
saying what you guys want to
So
hear.
I agree that, this ball hasn't started rolling at all. That's why he wanted 30 days, at the most we were willing was the next meeting with, plans to be seen at that point. We're hoping we can get him that we're continuing with the land bank, to where that is gone, and then he can we don't want the property, the
No.
land bank, as far as they don't want it.
I'd like to see an empty space across from me again,
Yeah,
when it was like it was when I first moved in there.
Right.
But the thing is, all right, like I said, he says, well, I'll have it done in 6 months. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't kept his word on a single damn thing.
Exactly, and that's why I don't believe not one word of it.
And who's going to inspect this place to start with? Is the building department going to come out and inspect this place to see what has to be done? Because it's crap.
So they did their inspection in December of last year? No. When were our inspections last on that property?
Well, Emily had everybody out there.
November, December, I think.
Was that November?
It wasn't wintertime yet, it was like fall.
Yeah, it was fall or...
So as of now, they have to get that property for all their violations in the building department, health department
gross.
letters. Now, since there hasn't been a roof on it all winter long, I'm sure it's been a lot worse.
Yeah.
So everything has to meet all the requirements of building and health department. If we decide that they have to have X amount of days to rehab the property.
Don't give me an if here. man.
I'm not,
I'm sick of looking at this place.
I understand. I completely understand. I mean, and that's, you hit the nail on the head. They had X many months to do this, and all of a sudden now they're gonna get it done in 6 months like that?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
And this guy, I don't know who this contractor is, because I've never
I think
seen
that's
this guy
Shaggy from
before.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I've never seen him before.
And then I like how the lawyer said that I'll come to the next meeting and I'll speak on his behalf, but they said that they couldn't send anybody, and how can you send your lawyer if you couldn't send them 6 months ago, 3 months ago, to these meetings?
Exactly.
It's like a bunch of lies.
Well, that's all we've been getting out of him, believe me. Now, I got no qualms about telling him that either. So, all right.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, anything else before the board? Dan, or Don? I'm all right.
Charlie and I, Don Grand here. Charlie and I have been trying to get together.
We have very similar schedules.
Uh-oh.
So, in a light of some of the things that I've just heard with this, I don't want to rehash anything, but can we just discuss a few other additional things when we meet?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, because I want to get a better vision as to some of my other options.
Sure.
Okay.
So, we can talk
Don,
after.
if they would have communicated their problem like you have, we'd be home in our pajamas right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Peggy, you're 100% right. He, multiple times, empty promises, multiple times, yeah. And very rude, very on, yeah, that. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you, Don. All right.
Mike, can I interject something? If you make a deal with this guy, have a surety bond, performance bond, because his credibility sucks.
The lack of.
All right, good point, Joe. Okay, anything else? One?
We're going to hold you that one question.
One?
Going on strike time, right? It just has to, I don't know if I can write my name and talk at the same time.
Write a long name.
Minnie Mouse. Okay, I actually have a question about, how we've had the tornadoes in Wyndham and so forth, you know what I mean? So my question was, one, I know Wyndham didn't have a working siren at the time, and just because, you know, we've had pretty close calls around here. One, do we have a working siren? And two, if a disaster does happen around here, where does the community go?
The fire station is a place they can go, and here would be
And
another
here?
place. We have, both of them have generators, equipped with generators, all right? The working siren,
It's taken down.
that's what I thought, it was taken down years ago.
It was taken down years ago.
They looked into replacing them like a while ago, and it was, I don't know if it was here, but it may have been Suffield, a fortune.
Right.
I mean, like a god-awful amount of money. They're not cheap at all.
Right.
So, and most everyone has
Right.
this, you
Right.
know, that they use. So,
Right.
But yes, they're,
Well, and so my main question was just about, like, where does the community go in case of, you know, like after, you know, like after a
Yeah,
disaster?
it'd be the town hall and the fire department.
Town hall or fire
Yeah, we
department.
both have generators capable of running the HVAC units, all the lights.
right,
So
restrooms, everything that we need.
Yeah.
Okay,
right,
thank
thank
you,
you.
good question.
that was 2 questions, by the way. Absolutely.
This- Martha?
Martha, this is Martha talking. I remember when they did this research and when the tower came down in the first place because it was going to fall down, they wanted to get it down. That's why they took the siren down. It was decayed, rotted, rusted out. It was ready to go, so they took it down. When they went researching to how much it was going to cost, it was near $1 million. I couldn't believe it. But to get one high enough to reach the community, it had to be that high and guided and everything else. And there's a big problem. I remember this discussion way back when in a township meeting here.
No, that's crazy.
So, you remember it? And I couldn't believe. Yes, and they said they can all get on. They can page us on the cell phone and let us know through a joint community effort to just tell everybody on their cell phone. Just ping them and send them a message. So why have a tower for $1 million when we can spend the money for a lot of other things?
I agree. Oh, I don't think we were even
Yeah, no,
considering replacing the
absolutely.
siren.
But that's the whole thing. That's why it was canned way back when.
Right.
They said, forget it.
If
we
it's
can't
if it's
afford
that much money, there ain't no.
it. Yeah. $9,999. It's just under $1 million. No, I'd like to go with
Right.
that.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you,
and your
Martha.
great memory. All right, at this time, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's okay.
Charlie?
Oh, yes.
Thora?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
I remember the siren blowing every day at noon. And so, thank you.
It's Suffield and